one shy of the all-time record. Gretzky now has 16. And here he comes, looking for 17. He has Krushelnyski on his left. Crossman is banged into the boards by Krushelnyski. The Flyers trying to get it out, and they do. We are 4 minutes into the first period, no score. Coffey with Poulin taking the body. Krushelnyski slaps it across to Curry. Back the other way. Too long for Gretzky, and Froese leaves it go. Crossman off the boards, and it goes through Propp to center ice. Coffey, who is actually the leading scorer for the Oilers against the Flyers in this series with a goal and 7 assists. Gretzky has 6 goals and 1 assist. Charlie Huddy takes it in. Kicked out by Froese. Huddy puts it in front. Krushelnyski takes a dive. No call is made. Huddy out to the point. His shot. Here's Curry. Scores!
You just knew sooner or later Jari Kurri was going to score. He's been held off the scoreboard for 4 games. That's the longest ever this season. Here's the shot. It was almost a shoveling type of shot that Kurri got away. Gretzky had an excellent opportunity on a deflection just prior to this, but it was Jari Kurri who finally put that puck by Bobby Froese. Jari Kurri's first goal of the Stanley Cup Finals.
And this is after he scored 12 goals in the Chicago series. And he ties the all-time playoff record in 1 year of 19 goals. Tied with Reggie Leach of the Philadelphia Flyers. And now Kurri has the rest of this game to become the first 20-goal scorer ever in Stanley Cup history. So Jari Kurri, who scored 71 goals during the course of the regular season, has struck for number 19 here in the playoffs. It has been a 90-goal season for Jari Kurri. Gretzky and Huddy get the assists at 4:54. Here's Patterson, the rebound, and he hits it off the side of the net. 1-0. The Oilers jump in front. An Oilers team that has not lost in the playoffs here at home. 9-0 their record this year. And they have won 15 straight at home in the playoffs, tying the Montreal Canadiens for that record.
Well, this team, the Edmonton Oilers, cannot stop at that one, though, because watch, the Philadelphia Flyers come right back down the ice. Good shot. And then Patterson gets an excellent opportunity here. Just couldn't quite find the open room. Grant Fuhr moving very quickly from his right to his left. Let's watch it again. Fuhr gives off the rebound, and Joe Patterson just comes streaking in there, lets the shot go quickly, maybe just a little bit too quickly. He is coming down the right wing side, being a left-hand shot. It was a little difficult for him possibly to get that shot away, just the way that he was balanced at the time.
Fuhr playing his 18th straight Stanley Cup game. He played the last 12 for the Oilers in the regular season, so this is his 30th straight. And remember, Fuhr was not in net when the Oilers won the series last year against the Islanders from the point. And it is deflected back the other way. Fuhr was injured in that Islander final. Here is Lindstrom, his shot, scores!
Surprises in playoffs for the Edmonton Oilers has been the play of Willie Lindstrom. Watch, number 19, he goes down the right wing board side, hooked a little bit by Mark Howe, just winds up with a good wrist shot right along the ice, beats Froese on the stick side, and really, when you can see the way that Lindstrom got off that shot, you pretty much knew where he was trying to go with it. But he wasn't in the greatest position when he took that shot. But Willie Lindstrom really has been a surprise during the course of playoffs this year, and a very pleasant surprise.
The 33-year-old veteran, he had scored goals in each of the first 2 games, including the game winner in game number 2. And the Oilers now lead it by the score of 2-0. A rough start for Bobby Froese in his start here against Edmonton. Lindstrom the goal, Messier the assist at 5:31. So 2 goals within 37 seconds for the Edmonton Oilers. They lead it 2-0. For our local systems, we pause now. We're anxious.
Well, let's take a look at that goal by Willie Lindstrom one more time. And again, the way that he got away from that partial hook by Mark Howe, he showed persistency on the part of Willie Lindstrom, and then a great shot. He got away.
The Oilers hoping history repeats. Last year, they split the first 2 games with the Islanders and then won 3 in a row to capture the cup here in Game 5. It has been the same scenario, splitting the first 2 in Philadelphia and taking the next 2 here, and this is Game 5. Poulin shot. Fuhr just standing up on the screen and was in the right place. Poulin again. Craven keeps it in. Marsh at the point as he was hurried by Anderson, and flying the other way of the Oilers, it is Messier. Puts on the brakes. Anderson picks it up, looking for Napier in front. And it comes back to center ice. 13 minutes, 20 seconds to go in his first period. The Oilers pouring it on. 2-0. They lead. Curry and Lindstrom, the goal scorers. Paul Coffey rounds the net. Gets away from Rich Sutter. Right onto the stick of Curry. Curry to Krushelnyski. Through the legs. Gretzky back to the point. Honey fires, and it's deflected wide. And Rich Sutter on the go. Cross ice to Howe. Howe, his shot is smothered as Honey comes back, and then he jolts Howe into the boards. Derek Smith kicked out. Rebound. Rich Sutter scores. The Flyers come back. And it's a 2-1 hockey game.
Well, the fans here in Edmonton booing that one. You can see right from the point, Derek Smith gets off a good shot. Number 24. There's the rebound. It comes out. Rich Sutter, number 15, just has enough patience to hang on, to get himself into good position. Now he knows he can get that shot up. His only concern is making sure he's got the room. Lee Fogelin, I believe it was coming across and almost blocked that shot. I'm sorry, it was Charlie Huddy that came across that crease. And Charlie Huddy may have been able to stop that shot, but he just went a little bit too far, took himself out of the crease.
So Rich Sutter, who scored in the first 46 seconds of game number 4, certainly stirs the confidence of the Flyers here in the first period. Derek Smith gets the assist. 7:23 is the time. 3 quick starts in the 3 games here in Edmonton. Ed Hospodar. And he winds it around. Fuhr stops it for his defenseman, Fogelin. Fogelin plays it on the stick of Lowe. Out it goes on the left wing to Dave Hunter. And Lindstrom caroms it around. And that also has to help the confidence of Bobby Froese. Offside call against the Edmonton Oilers. We have 11 minutes and 57 seconds to go in this first period.
I was talking to Mike Keenan yesterday about this player, Rick Tocchet, and the Flyers have so many good young players, but this man particularly has got a real keen sense for going for that net with his shot, and he has got a real bullet of a drive. Rick Tocchet, pretty aggressive player. I think he's going to have a very bright future in the NHL, especially with that shot and the way that he can get it off, and he works hard to get in that position.
A 6th-round draft pick, only 20 years old. Tocchet, who led the Flyers in penalty minutes with 181. 2-1, the Oilers leading it, and we go all the way back the other way.
Don Jackson from the Oilers, who has sat out some games during the course of playoffs and has been inserted back into the lineup, of course, to play along with his partner, Randy Gregg. They have been inseparable for the course of the last few years until this season. Now, Mike Keenan right now realizes that that 1 goal that his team has scored is a big turnaround, because being down 2-0 against this Edmonton Oilers team early in the game can really be devastating to your hockey club confidence-wise. But with Richie Sutter coming back and scoring that goal, now the Flyers are right back into it.
Sutter, who's played only 3 games of this series and has scored 2 goals. That is Rich Sutter, who earlier this season was sent down to the minors. Mark Howe, a nice move to get away from Lindstrom. And the Flyers on the attack again. It's the Sutter twins. Rich fires, and he just missed it wide. Ron Sutter in the corner, and he is smashed there by Jackson. And Lindstrom weaving it out for Edmonton. He's being trailed by McClellan. Lindstrom. And Froese really had problems handling that heavy shot. Derek Smith right off the side of his net. And we have a whistle and a penalty coming up. There is Hospodar along the ice and McClellan from the Northlands College. 1 of 14. Scored 4 of 7 in game number 4. And they've been working it from the points. That was the change. It is Coffey. Side on net. Gretzky stopped by Froese. And it goes all the way down. A change in strategy for Edmonton in that 4th game. They generally like to go into the middle, into the slot area. But now we'll work the puck between their point men and also look for that quick shot on the point. Anderson slips through Howe. He has Messier in front. Anderson digs it loose. Charlie Huddy, who had one of the power play goals. Messier can't hold on. And it is cleared but not out. Coffey keeps it in to Messier. Cross ice, Huddy with time. And it's intercepted by Howe. Huddy was looking for Gretzky. He had his shot but passed it up. A minute gone by, and the penalty to Hospodar. And now it is Coffey winding it up in his own zone. Coffey comes to the red line, over the blue line, and he wheels it around. Marsh beats Krushelnyski to the puck, but Gretzky runs it down. Huddy is bumped by Ron Sutter, and there it goes all the way down the ice.
I really thought that the Philadelphia Flyers might change their penalty killing strategy just a little bit tonight. Start keying in on the Edmonton points because those points were deadly to them, scoring 2 of the 4 power play goals in the last game.
25 seconds left in the power play. Dvorak ramps it off the boards and gets the job done. The Flyers are a very effective penalty killing unit. Only second of the Oilers this year in shorthanded goals. Gretzky could not sneak it in with 9 seconds left in the power play.
Well, it was very close, but Gretzky couldn't quite keep it in. Meanwhile, Randy Gregg getting up a little bit slowly. Remember, Gregg, who played in last game, but did not play here on Sunday night, or Saturday night, I should say, because of an injury. You can see Gregg going down pretty hard right here after Big Brad Marsh put him in that position. Randy Gregg suffered a knee injury and had some difficulties, but very surprisingly was right back in the lineup here in Edmonton on Tuesday night.
Edmonton 2 and Philadelphia 1. The Oilers coming out quickly and scoring 2 goals within 37 seconds. Curry and Lindstrom scoring, but Rich Sutter came back. So the 3 goals were scored in a span of 2 minutes and 29 seconds. 9:20 left in period 1. Dvorak, and he gets it out. And the penalty to Hospodar is over. Peter Zezel, the rookie for the Flyers, shoots it ahead to Sinisalo, who takes it onside. Sinisalo is bodied out by Kevin Lowe. McClellan with Zezel chasing after him. And it is McClellan weaving his way out. McClellan can't get a good shot off. Dvorak seeing quite a bit of ice time here in this first period. Joe Patterson with Marsh helping out. And Lindstrom shoots it back. 8 minutes, 39 seconds left in period number 1. Froese. And it's the Flyers coming out. Craven, who has been the big scorer in the last 2 games for Philadelphia. Wheeling on Jackson, and back the other way comes Gretzky. And he has room. 3-on-2. Gretzky looking. And he's shot. Saved by Froese. So the Oilers had several trailers on that play. For our local systems, we'll pause now. USA Sports is bringing you the Stanley Cup.
It's really easy to figure out how the Edmonton hockey team got its name. It's derived from the vast petroleum resources that lie under the Alberta soil. Behind me, one of the rigs that is used to extract the black gold from the ground. We've come to the Alberta Petroleum Industry Training Center. And I've drawn the only logical conclusion. This is where people come to learn how to be Oilers.
Well, the well gushing at the start of this first period. 2 quick goals by the Oilers. But Philadelphia striking back, and it's a 2-1 Edmonton lead. 8 minutes left in the first. Ron Sutter chasing it along with Randy Gregg. Gregg gets there first. There's the whistle, and we'll come all the way back to the Philadelphia zone.
Well, maybe for the last time this year, we'll remind you that this game is authorized under television rights granted by the National Hockey League. It's intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Hockey League is strictly prohibited.
Well, in the last game, Gary, the Philadelphia Flyers scored a goal in the first 46 seconds. They had a penalty shot. They had a shorthanded goal. It still didn't help them. Perhaps coming from behind, and they look good in game number 3, although falling short is more to their suiting.
And yet it really hasn't been over the course of the season Philadelphia Flyers' strong point, as it isn't most teams' strong point, to come from behind. Percentages aren't very good when you have to play catch-up hockey, but I think the whole character, and that's what you're referring to, of this Philadelphia team could well prove different tonight.
Peter Zezel brings it out to center, shoots it in. Derek Smith is after it, along with Ron Sutter, and that puck is golfed over the glass, and a Stanley Cup playoff souvenir into the crowd.
Charlie Huddy was one of those players that I had talked to just prior to the game, and in fact, I think a lot of the guys were a little concerned about the great raving and going on here in Edmonton yesterday. Folks, you just couldn't believe how the radios and the media were really blasting away the fact that the party is tonight, the convention center is where it's at. It's almost as though there wasn't even a game. No wonder this young club was referred to as being a little cocky and confident. All the people here in Edmonton are pretty much that way in reference to their hockey.
Charlie Huddy, who signed with the Oilers as a free agent. Number 22 gets it out to Curry. There is Gretzky now roaming at center ice and looking to pick up that puck and go with it. Huddy, with 2 men on him, plays it off the boards, and Crossman, a very tired defenseman, sends it in. Right in front, Fuhr looking at it as Poulin races it down. Here's Crossman heading in. Blocked by the defense. Kept in by Philadelphia. And now it's the Oilers just shooting out to take the pressure off. 7 minutes left, period number 1. Coffey misses on the pass. A near giveaway to Poulin. Dvorak plays it to center ice. And Gretzky gets it onto the stick of Coffey. Krushelnyski heading in. And he is banged by Ron Sutter, who comes all the way back. Don Jackson, along with Rich Sutter, as it's slapped to center ice. Erickson fields it there. Krushelnyski holds him. And now the Oilers having problems advancing, but it is McClellan who skates it out. McClellan, one of the heroes for the Oilers in last year's final. No penalty is called there. The crowd responds. Hunter with a man in front. Hunter staying with it. Centering pass. Lindstrom kicked out by Froese. Lindstrom dead on, got the shot off. 6 minutes left in period number 1. Al Albert along with Gary Green and Al Troutwig and Mike Liut bringing you the Stanley Cup playoffs on USA. Mark Howe wraps it around. Lowe. They say he kept it in. And now Edmonton chases it back. Lee Fogelin. And Kevin Lowe returns to Fogelin, and he has Tocchet right on him. So the Flyers forechecking and swarming. They have no other recourse here in Game 5. Tocchet will have to wait because Craven is in the zone. Crossman regroups. 5:15 left in period 1. Oilers with a 1-goal lead. Messier and Anderson cut in. Messier cross ice. And Marsh now finds the puck. Brad Marsh, the veteran, plays it out ahead to Craven. Craven, who had a shorthanded goal against the Oilers. Mark Napier puts it ahead to Messier. Messier over the line, pulls the trigger, and it's steered into the corner by Bobby Froese. Crossman, lead pass to Tocchet. His long shot, and easily steered into the corner by Fuhr. Marsh hitting Fuhr. The net was open, but it's intercepted by Gretzky. Gretzky wheeling on Dvorak. Behind the back to Coffey. He shoots, scores!
shot by Coffey, but what a pass by number 99. You know, every time this guy's mom and dad shows up for a game, he does something spectacular. I think this pass, this backhand pass to Coffey is pretty spectacular. He knew exactly where Coffey was coming. And that's exactly what Paul Coffey and Wayne Gretzky do very well. Coffey rushes up with the play, just like a right winger in Yari Curry's position right here. He flicks his wrists and puts that puck by Bobby Froese.
And it's 3-1 in favor of the Oilers with 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in period number 1. And right now it is Rich Sutter right on the scene as you watch Gretzky setting up Coffey once more. From coast to coast in all 50 states, it's the Stanley Cup playoffs on USA. 3-1 lead.
Well, let's take a look at this goal one more time. The backhand pass by Gretzky, but watch Coffey. When he comes in, he's got his head up all the way. He's looking, seeing how much room Bobby Froese is going to give him. He's got his target, and he finds his mark.
Coffey his 11th goal of the playoffs, which is a record for a defenseman. Gretzky on the assist at 15:31. And Gary Green, what about Bobby Froese?
Well, I don't think Bobby Froese has been necessarily sharp tonight by any means, but it's a very difficult situation to come into, Al, when you have to face the hottest scoring machine in hockey and you haven't played, or at least you haven't started a game during the course of the playoffs this season.
Brian Lewis has called a penalty, a roughing penalty on Jackson of the Oilers at 15:40, so the Flyers now with an opportunity to get one back. But the Flyers have been disastrous on the power play. They have scored just 2 of 23 attempts in this series. Howe on the screen and the tip by Zessel. Crossman from the point. Howe fires, kick save, rebound in front. Zessel shot, and that's off the side of the net. Propp gets it back to his point man. Howe again the quick wrist shot, and the rebound goes wide. Gretzky able to get it back to his defenseman.
You can see that Brian Propp was really hustling around out there. Sinisalo and Propp, this is their opportunity to redeem themselves, really, in this series. Mike Keenan expects that Sinisalo and Propp have got to score in order for them to win. Well, this is their opportunity.
Each have been held to just 1 goal in the series. Sinisalo playing with a bad shoulder. Hardly can shoot. Here is Zessel. And, of course, the Flyers missing Tim Kerr desperately. Propp is covered by Lowe. Fogelin races in and clears it out. Here's a break. It is Curry with Hunter. And a penalty coming up against Philadelphia. There goes the power play. So the speed of Curry, the speed of the Oilers, helping equalizing the matter on the ice. We'll be back.
Look at that hooking penalty by Crossman in 53 seconds. The Edmonton Oilers will get their chance on the power play.
Down to 3 minutes left as Messier brings it out, looking for Anderson in front. Marsh ties him up, and Anderson right on the scene. Anderson wheeling. Messier. Anderson being ridden from behind by Dvorak. So tough to remove from the puck, as is Messier. But Marsh does it there. Dvorak hit from behind by Anderson. Messier swatting at it. And Poulin kicks it out to Dvorak. Playing perhaps his final game as a Flyer. Lowe goes between the legs, and Messier rolls it in. The Oilers will now be a man advantage as Gretzky and Curry step on the ice. It is shot all the way down, and an icing is called as the teams were at equal strength. Now the power play for Edmonton. 1 minute 3 seconds in the penalty to Doug Crossman.
And this is when Paul Coffey and Charlie Huddy will no doubt see some action back at the points. You can remember that in the last game, Coffey and Huddy both scored on power play attempts, and those were great shots coming from the blue line.
The crowd chanting, the cup stays here. And the Edmonton Oilers with a 3-1 lead, 2:16 left in the first period. And on the power play, a chance right here to really do damage to the Flyers. Krushelnyski with Curry and Gretzky. Huddy and Coffey will be poised at the points. Ron Sutter will take the draw. It goes to Huddy. Coffey takes the look. Right in on net. With Krushelnyski parked in front. Curry, very patient Oiler team. Coffey fires, scores!
He's deadly. From that point, when he gets that pass, you realize how difficult that is to take the shot at the same time as you're receiving the pass. The timing that is involved is just unbelievable. The way that Coffey is able to get that shot away, and then you think about the accuracy of the shot. Let's watch and how it is set up. Charlie Huddy does a pretty good job of passing that puck quickly before any Flyer could get out there on Paul Coffey. He just let her go, and it beat Bobby Froese.
Goaltender who has no time to get across in that bullet shot. Froese just had it in the glove, but it was too hard. And fired right through. It is 4-1 in favor of the Oilers. By the way, the backup goaltender, as McClellan overskates, but an offside is called. Darren Jensen is the backup goaltender for the Flyers, who play this year in Hershey. And he may be nervous right now, wondering whether he may see some action. Coffey gets the goal, his second of this game, 12th of the playoffs. Huddy and Curry get the assists at 17:57, the power play goal for the Oilers.
Kevin McClellan, the aggressive center iceman, going to the bench right now, but boy, the Flyers are in trouble here. They were in trouble coming into this game, but down 4-1 right now. Only a minute and 44 seconds remaining on the clock in this first period of play. The fans are revved up, and it's quite obvious, so are the Edmonton Oilers.
Coffey taking great pride in breaking the records that had been established before by the great ones, the names of Bobby Orr and Brad Park and Dennis Potvin. And now Paul Coffey owns all the defensive records for scoring in playoffs, for goals, for assists, and for points.
You got to give this man an awful lot of credit. The captain of the Philadelphia Flyers, Dave Poulin, he has been injured. Al, you discussed earlier in this period the possibility of, are those ribs bruised or are they broken? Forget about the ribs. He's also got a bad knee that has given him some real trouble during the course of playoffs, but he still goes out there and plays hurt. He's doing the best he can, but you can just know what Dave Poulin can do when he's healthy. Bob's got to only be going about 60% right now.
The hand for the Oilers is Dave Semenko, number 27, who played for this Edmonton team when they were in the WHA. Steps on the ice, a fan favorite here, along with Billy Carroll, number 20. And Pat Hughes, number 16. Hughes takes a run at Zessel. And it's shot in. Billy Carroll, who was on 3 New York Islanders Stanley Cup teams, going for his 4th cup. Here's Dave Brown for the Flyers. And Pat Hughes loses on a poke check. Zessel has Hospodar, but it's off of a Edmonton skate. And here's a break, and here is Carroll with Semenko, a 2-on-1. Carroll, and it's blocked by a sliding Marsh. Anderson cutting in. He slaps it, and it goes wide. 50 seconds left in the first period.
You wonder how Glenn Anderson can keep his balance after all the pushing and shoving that's going on to try and take him off of it.
Fogelin puts it in front. And Marsh just getting the pressure off. The Flyers just want to get out of this period. 30 seconds left. Oilers 4 and the Flyers 1.
Glenn say they're inserting Billy Carroll into the lineup tonight. And of course, with Billy Carroll, Pat Hughes, Dave Semenko, those type of players that don't get a great deal of ice time, you just know they're going to come out here and give every last thing they possibly have in tonight's game.
Remember, the Oilers led 4-1 in game number 3. That was going into the 3rd period. And the Flyers came back with 2 goals. So the Flyers have more of a game to come back on. But the Oilers may have learned the lesson in game number 3. They know they can't sit back. They can't retreat. They can't get too fancy against Philadelphia. That's what happened in game number 3. 15 seconds left. Mark Napier. And it is Anderson looking for some more. An offside call against the Oilers.
You're going to see a lot of Rich and Ron Sutter out there tonight. Funny thing, Rich Sutter apparently has got a bad leg, and Ron Sutter went to the team doctor yesterday and said to him, look, he said, before you work on Rich's leg, he said, just tell him that it's going to be all right. Put a little salve on it, and it'll be all right. Tell him that we Sutters play lame. And that's exactly what they really does go on out there in the ice. Rich and Ron Sutter, very determined players. Ron Sutter said to me after the game the other night, he said, you're not going in any Edmonton Oilers dressing room and presenting any cup after the course of the next game.
Hospodar as the siren ends, and a great 20 minutes for the Edmonton Oilers. Trying to seek the cup. The shots on goal in that first period. The Oilers with 12, the Flyers with 6. And coming up in between periods, Al Trautwig will be talking with Flyer goaltender Pelle Lindbergh. Talk about his terrific season, which is over now because of a knee injury. The score after one period of play here in the Northlands Coliseum. It's the Edmonton Oilers 4 and the Philadelphia Flyers 1. We'll return with our first intermission right after these messages.
On it up in Quebec there, and now the other night, the last game in the second period, I took another one on exactly the same spot, and it's pretty sore right now, so I don't think I could play.
Pelle, you played more than 80 games. Some people would say that's too much for a goaltender. How do you feel?
No, I really like to play a lot because that keeps me sharp. Last year I only played 36 games and I had a bad year, so I think it proves that if I play a lot, I play a lot better, and I feel more confident when I play every night, so I think it's been good for me.
Are you at all surprised at how explosive, how miraculous at times the Oiler offense has been, especially tonight in that first period? Some of the passing was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, Gretzky and all those guys, they're, especially now when I sit up there and watch their play develop, you know, they're unbelievable. I can't really believe it. There can't be any better team in the world right now. I don't think even the Russian can come close to when they start to play like this. So, you know, to Bob Froster, it's not much he can do about it. They're so good in front of the net, and they just put the puck in the net all the time. So.
Pelle, the Oilers went to the final, of course, the very first time and lost to the Islanders. They say they learned a tremendous amount from that first final. Do you think the Flyers are learning an awful lot from this appearance, and perhaps next year we'll use it?
I think so, because we have a really young team, and just to be up in the final the first year like this is really good experience for us. And you know, we have guys who are 19 years old, and this is going to be good for us. Maybe next year we hopefully be here again, and then we try to beat them here.
Pelle, you told me a few minutes ago you're a realist. How shocked would you be if the Flyers come back to win this game?
Well, I think it's going to be really tough right now. I mean, you know, it's hockey, but 4-1 in their own building, and they're up 3 games to 1. It's going to be awfully tough, but you never know in hockey. But like I said, something really strange is going to happen if it's going to turn this around tonight, I think.
Pelle, you've given us an awful lot to be excited about this year. Some of your saves were just great to watch. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Pelle Lindbergh, in a difficult position. We're happy he could join us in between periods. For being our guest, he will receive a handsome V-neck pullover sweater from Toyota Line's fine line of genuine Toyota Sport. Good years to the way Edmonton used to look in the year 1885. Fior was the best man in the Stanley Cup playoffs in those 2 years that the Boston Bruins were king of the NHL. We'll return live to Edmonton, Alberta after these messages. Cup championship, and the Oilers lead the Philadelphia Flyers by a count of 4-1. We had some fun the other day. We went to a very unique area of Edmonton, an area which shows the city the way it was 100 years ago, just shortly before Lord Stanley presented his cup to hockey. 100 years ago, the city of Philadelphia was already a major city. But on the plains of Alberta, there was a dream beginning. It was called Edmonton. 1885, this is what the city looked like. The small Methodist church and Daly's drugstore and all the things that were pre-Gretzky and pre-Sather and pre-Stanley Cup. But now we're going to take a look around Edmonton 1885. And in between periods, my throat's a little parched. First stop, of course, Kelly's Saloon. can't figure it. Found Al and Gary and Mike. There's one guy I thought would be around in 1885. It's Dan at Kelly's Saloon. Then I remembered he's not with us tonight. Sarsaparilla. No question at the stable known as the Northlands Coliseum, the Oilers have the horses. Let's see what it was like 100 years ago in Edmonton. Oh. No horses in there, but plenty of furs for those cold Edmonton winters, and we know how cold they can get. Mr. Secord's fur store does a great business. Secord? Name sounds familiar. Thank you very much. Now I'm ready for the 20th century again. Let's see. Rocket Richard wins game in overtime for Habs. Game 5 on Tuesday. So that's a pretty good idea of what Edmonton was like 100 years ago. People would soon be hearing about the Stanley Cup. People might even eventually be wearing blue and orange. But then again, that's a different time, a different era. But it's amazing. The city of Edmonton has still maintained an awful lot of that charm. It's really amazing. What was Main Street in 1885 is now this, Jasper and 100th Street, the old trail that connected Edmonton, Alberta with Jasper, Alberta. But now what was dirt and wood and hope is now steel and glass and dreams, the museums and the nightclubs and all the things that make a major city in North America right here in Edmonton, Alberta. Matter of fact, now it's the home for more than 500,000 people, and they're used to getting the news on time just like everybody else. No, this is not the old Edmonton that we showed you moments ago. This is the new Edmonton. Oilers lead the series 3-1. Now that's more like it. We will return you to Edmonton, Alberta, 1985 in just a moment on USA. The Oilers making things look very bleak for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Now, for the first time on TV, the home gym that treats your body to a 9-station workout to get you quickly on the track to a slimmer, trimmer figure. Trim Track, durable, no-nonsense construction, compares to the big workout gyms. Yet Trim Track can be yours on this special TV offer for just $39.95. It's a rowing machine, perfect exercise for flattening the tummy, and you'll love quality touches like the padded seat and smooth as silk track action. A hard-working exerciser, yet more fun than a backyard swing. The padded footlock is perfect for sit-ups, gives you a trim, tight waistline. Powerful spring handles make Trim Track great for leg curls, for tight buttocks and slim thighs. Hop on your knees for arm curls. Does miracles for arms and neck and chin. There's the shoulder shrug, the neck press, the leg lift, and our own exclusive aerobic workout tones chest, flattens the tummy, and puts you on the track to tip-top fitness. If you're even thinking about getting back into shape, don't spend hundreds of dollars on a home gym. Don't sign up for classes you'll never get to. Most of all, don't wait another minute. Have your credit card ready and call now. If you don't see real improvement, in a flatter tummy, tighter waist, tonier legs and calves. Just return Trim Track and owe nothing. Don't wait. Get on the Trim Track. It's the fast track to the slender, younger figure you've been dreaming of. Just $39.95. Have your credit card ready and call now. Here's how to order.
To order your Trim Track console free, 1-800-USA-1000, or send $39.95 plus $5 for shipping and handling to Trim Track, P.O. Box 49648, Atlanta, Georgia 30359. Or for fastest delivery, have your credit card ready and console free, 1-800-USA-1000.
The Stanley Cup Championship on USA is being brought to you by Ford and your local Ford dealer, who invite you to drive the new Ford Escort. Have you driven a Ford lately? After one period of play in this Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Championship, the Oilers leading the Philadelphia Flyers by a score of 4-1. And they began early at 4:54. Yari Curry, his 19th of the playoffs from Gretzky and Huddy. It was 1-0. 2-0 on Willie Lindstrom's goal at 5:31. 2-1 Philadelphia when Rich Sutter got an assist from Derek Smith at 7:23. At 15:31, Wayne Gretzky, a brilliant pass for Paul Coffey. It was 3-1 Oilers. And then at 17:57, Paul Coffey on a quick 1-2-3 pass play. Yari Curry and Charlie Huddy doing it for Edmonton. Well, I can't say I'm surprised. I really did expect the Oilers to blow Philadelphia out of the Northlands Coliseum tonight. And while this game is far from over, what an effort they put in that first period when you consider how strong and how energetic the Philadelphia Flyers probably came out of that locker room with optimism just rolling through their veins, thinking if we win tonight, we can go back to Philadelphia. But all season long, we've marveled at these Philadelphia Flyers. This one's not over yet, and we'll be saying that for quite some time tonight. Let's go upstairs to Gary Green and Mike Lear.
You know, I rather enjoy doing this. I've always respected goaltenders, but I've never felt that I'm going to have to look up to a goaltender as much as I have every time you and I get a chance to talk. Let's go back to the goaltending. Bobby Froese. I know he's only played 55 minutes during the course of the Stanley Cup playoffs so far, and in this finals, it's not the same going in as a goaltender when you have to start a game. I think
it's certainly different.
It's different.
It's a lot different when you have to start the game, and the pressure of the game is on your hands, and when you just come in the middle of the game is basically over, or it's in a bad spot for your team, barring an injury, of course. But here tonight, we wanted Philadelphia to come out, or at least Bobby Froese did, and slow the play down. And if Philadelphia could do that, then they could take Edmonton's passing game away from them. That didn't happen. That's obvious. The position that Bobby Froese is in now, that he's just going to come out and do the best that he can. And they're in a bad spot. They're in, as you said, a bad spot before it started.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you something. Is that maybe a reason why coaches should use two goaltenders more often during the course of the Stanley Cup playoffs? Because Bobby Froese has been a great goaltender during the course of the regular season. Did he deserve to play more, possibly, in the Stanley Cup playoffs?
Well, that's a tough decision. Possibly. I'd say yes, okay, especially in Philadelphia's case. I think that maybe they would have won one or two more games off of Quebec, in the sense they would have got that series over earlier. Bobby Froese can play. He's done a very good job for them in the 2 years that he's been there, and why not? It would put them in a better position tonight.
Okay, now let's get back to this game. Every single time it appears that there is a big lead after the first period, there is some reason why a team that is in the lead lets down. Now, you tell me what players are thinking when they go into that dressing room, that it happens so often.
Well, I think most of the problem is that they stop thinking, and they allow their mind to be distracted, and they start thinking about possibly winning. We've won it. It's over. And it's not over. There's still 40 minutes to go. Of course, this is a different situation tonight.
Well, it is a different situation, and we're going to get ready to start the second period of play, so let's go to Al Albert.
And the two teams are back on the ice getting ready for the start of period number 2. It was back in game number 3 that the Oilers had a 4-1 lead over these Philadelphia Flyers going into the third period, and the Flyers struck for 2 goals to make it a game and almost turning that one around. And it was Tuesday night, game number 4. The Flyers had a 3-1 lead over the Edmonton Oilers before the Oilers stormed back for the next 4 goals to win it. So here we go into period number 2. Bob Froese certainly in the hot seat tonight. Here's a guy who had several injuries during the regular season. Knee surgery, he had a groin injury. He played just 17 games, but a brilliant 2.41 goal average, a record of 13-2. His last start was nearly 2 months ago, April 2nd, when he beat the Rangers 2-1. He played the game before that, beat the Rangers 3-0. But tonight it's against the Flyers in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Froze especially shaky on those first 2 goals, and that certainly set the tone for the Oilers and the Philadelphia Flyers. Period number 2 is underway as Kevin Lowe plays it off the boards right in front as Fogelin steers it back to the blue line, and the Flyers shoot it back in. Graham Fuhr on the right wing to Anderson. Brad Marsh having some problems, and there he is. Messier all over him. Worked free by Anderson and cleared back to center ice. Here's a 2-on-1 for the Flyers. It is Tocchet. Goes wide and unable to get the pass off to Patterson. Messier back the other way with Anderson and Napier. They're flying out 3-on-2. Messier walks in. Comes right in front as the Flyers boomerang back the other way. Poulin. Here's the shot. Save. Rebound right in front. Dvorak from the point. And Coffey, who has scored the last 2 goals in this game. Coffey rushing in. And Dvorak takes it away. A minute gone by. Here's Gretzky right in front. Goes around. Shoots. Froze able to get a piece of that one. As Gretzky looking to go upstairs. Gretzky in pursuit. But the puck bounds around for Crossman. And he shoots it out. A quick start for period number 2. Charlie Huddy shoots it ahead. And it is Big Dave Brown at 6'5", lumbering over the line. Gets by Coffey. Takes a look in front with Pratt waiting for the pass. Gretzky hooks it ahead. Curry on a breakaway. It is Curry all alone on Froze. Curry with a breakaway from 90 feet in. And Froze may have gotten a piece of that. Jackson winding behind his net, being forechecked by Craven. Todd Bergen making his first appearance on the ice. Sinisalo in front, and it is smothered. Curry coming back to dive in front of his goaltender. Craven. And Mark Howe in deep. Craven with Bergen. Howe, dead on, shot, blocked. And it is Hunter, stick handling at center ice. Poke checked away from Gretzky. Ron Sutter with a move. Sutter fires, blocked in front by Kevin Lowe. And Hunter with 3 Flyers back. Three minutes into the second period. Flyers attacking again. Ron Sutter shoots it in the corner. Garrett Smith knocked down by Fogelin. You're watching the Stanley Cup on USA. We'll be back in a moment.
When we test big Ford pickups, we really shake them up above and beyond how you normally drive your truck. That's another reason why we can say they're built Ford tough.
Shake, 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 shake it on down.
The best built American trucks are built Ford tough.
Well, as you look at the Edmonton Oilers bench, you got a glimpse of Jari Kurri, the man that really lost an opportunity to put this team ahead 5-1. Here's Kurri on the breakaway. The question was, did Bobby Froze get a piece of it? I don't think so, now that we see it from that angle, which is a difficult angle to judge. Bobby Froze seemed to react a little slowly there as well. That glove came up, but the puck had already gone by. I think Jari Kurri just missed the net.
That was almost like a penalty shot without the thought process before, because Kurri broke in outside the red line. He had a clear sailing over 90 feet in on Froze.
Wayne Gretzky stayed way back, in fact, in Edmonton's end zone. He was just watching the play. Nobody could really do too much to help Jari Kurri out. He was so far out in the lead.
So it remains 4-1 in favor of the Oilers in game number 5. Oilers looking to clinch it right here. Patterson long shot, and the long rebound goes by the incoming Flyer. Here's Napier chasing with Hospodar. Hospodar gets some help from Miroslav Dvorak. And the puck at center ice. Charlie Huddy. Cross ice to his defensive mate Kevin Lowe. Anderson, who tried to slip behind enemy lines, but unable to get the puck.
Mark Napier playing with that mouth and chin shield. It was because of the fact he missed a couple of teeth. He had him knocked out when he collided with Ed Hospodar, and all that was made of that, Mark Napier said, I think it was accidental. I don't really believe Ed Hospodar did it on purpose. You can see Ed Hospodar in the picture, number 17. He had his nose broken in the game Tuesday night. We did see the cut on his nose, but it was also broken.
With a score, the Edmonton Oilers 4, the Philadelphia Flyers 1. We'll be back in Edmonton after this.
We improved the new Ford Escort in a lot of different areas. We improved it in the area of performance with quicker acceleration. We improved it in the area of efficiency with better gas mileage. And now we even improved it in the area of financing with a new low 8.8 annual percentage rate, which is quite an impressive offer on a car already the bestseller in this area.
8.8 financing on the new Escort. Take delivery by June 3rd.
Flyers could be in some trouble here, Al. Rick Tocchet is sitting in the penalty box, and he's got a 2-minute minor coming up to him. 3:43 was the time. It was for slashing, and this gives the Edmonton Oilers an opportunity on the power play, and Mike Keenan's not too happy with that call. I think that the Philadelphia Flyers, the way they came out in this second period, they had a little spurt of energy, but it may have been nervous energy. They may believe that they can come back in this game, but they may have also been concerned with the fact that this Edmonton Oilers team can also embarrass you. And with a 4-1 lead after the first period of play, that could have been a high possibility and still can.
The Oilers have been held in check by the Flyers. They had only 13 goals in the first 4 games. Just around 3 goals a game. Coming out of a Chicago series, they were scoring 6 per game. Offside called, so we'll come all the way back.
Wayne Gretzky, he's not playing, except with Jari Kurri, with the same left winger. Of course, that's nothing unusual for Wayne Gretzky. Esa Tikkanen is not in the lineup tonight, and therefore not playing on Wayne Gretzky's left wing side. Gretzky, funny thing, he went over to Esa Tikkanen apparently in the last game and said to Tikkanen, after Tikkanen was really playing fairly aggressively, he said, look, you're playing with Jari Kurri and Wayne Gretzky out here. You're not playing with Dave Semenko, so easy on the aggressiveness.
Gretzky picks it up at center, and then he wraps it in. Crossman digs for and gets there first. Charlie Huddy closes in, drills it, rebound in front, and Poulin clears it out to Propp. Propp this year, 7 shorthanded goals. Looking for one right there. He was second in the league to Gretzky, who had 11. And it is Coffey roaring out. Coffey leaves it for Kurri. Back it goes to Coffey. Cross ice, Gretzky fires. And Huddy takes a long look. Gretzky winds, kicked out, rebound Krushelnyski, put it onto the stick of Kurri. Coffey, he drills it, save, rebound in front. And Marsh clears it for Philadelphia. 45 seconds to go on the Edmonton power play. Certainly getting their shots off. Crossman, shorthanded, moves in. And Coffey lead pass to Gretzky with Markell back. Gretzky putting on the move, right in front. As Napier's shot goes wide. Coffey from the point, looking, finds Messier. Drops it for Lowe. Coffey, right in front. And it's clear out.
Well, on that last shift, you could see that Patterson and Poulin had played the 2 points very high. They're obviously very concerned about Paul Coffey getting that shot away. Coffey now off the ice.
Coffey with 2 goals here tonight, 1 on the power play. And this power play is over, so the team's at equal strength. 4-1, the Oilers lead, looking to win the Stanley Cup here tonight. Murray Craven. Zezel in on the scene. The trailer was Erickson, but he missed. 6 minutes into the second period of play. Fuhr wraps it around, and it is McClellan waiting on the boards. Long pass as he was looking for Anderson. And the icing call, and now some extra activity between Marsh for the Flyers and Hunter for the Oilers.
Dave Hunter got in there very quickly and had some words to say to Marsh, and of course Kevin McClellan came in there right after.
For our local systems, we'll pause now. The Stanley Cup on USA.
USA Network continues to bring you the best of the PGA Tour with joint CBS coverage of the Kemper Open. The top touring pros will be teeing off from the Congressional Country Club in Bethesda, Maryland. Over 7,100 demanding yards. If they survive the challenging fairways, they must then contend with lightning-fast greens. The Kemper Open. Second round coverage. Live at 4 p.m. Eastern. Repeated at 9 on USA tomorrow.
Well, there's Paul Coffey. He's looking right at us. 2 goals he scored in this game, and that really puts him in a good situation for possibly the Conn Smythe trophy that'll be awarded at the end. Here's the Mark Napier near miss, and you could see that Napier, when he took that pass on the backhand, I thought for a minute that it went in because I just lost sight of the puck.
So did the fans behind Bobby Froese. Leon Stickel, the veteran linesman, will drop the puck between Mark Messier, last year the Conn Smythe winner for the Oilers, and Peter Zezel. Number 25 gets it back to Brad Marsh. It is blocked. Lindstrom still fighting for the puck. McClellan, his shot. The long rebound. Marsh lost his stick, but stays right with it. Looking to get the pin, and he does.
That puck was still loose, but I think Brian Lewis felt it in the safety of all and in the best interest of this game. Let's get a whistle because the Flyers swarmed very quickly right in on top. And Brad Marsh, who did not have a stick, was bound and determined that he was going to get a stoppage of play. Brad Marsh had a little bit of trouble here once again, just not being quick enough to come back. Kevin McClellan, the big shot coming, the rebound, and now Marsh, without his stick, makes a good move here. He uses his skate, pushes that rebound off into the corner, and then tried to tie it up. He got a little help, though, from referee Brian Lewis.
So Brad Marsh, in his 7th season, is 4th with the Flyers. Came over from Calgary in a deal for captains. Mel Bridgman sent from Philadelphia to the Flames. Grant Fuhr, who was not in this position last year when the Oilers wrapped it up in game number 5 against the Islanders. He had separated his shoulder earlier in the series, so it was Andy Moog who played the final game. Wayne Gretzky, 24 years old, wondering what he's going to be like when he reaches his peak.
Ned Sater, the assistant coach to Mike Keenan of the Philadelphia Flyers, is looking down ice and looking to see whether or not his players are positioned properly for that faceoff.
13 and a half minutes left in this second period. 4-1, the Oilers leading Philadelphia. Coffey spun around by Tocchet, and Tocchet will go off. Brian Lewis calling the holding penalty on Rick Tocchet, so he goes back to where he came, the penalty box. The place to stay for exclusive coverage of the Stanley Cup is USA.
Shake, shake it on down. Shake it on down now. Shake it on down the line. I said shake, 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 shake. Shake it on down.
When we test big Ford pickups, we really shake them up above and beyond how you normally drive your truck. That's another reason why we can say they're built Ford tough.
Shake, 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 shake it on down.
The best-built American trucks are built Ford tough.
After tonight's game, when the teams hit the showers, they'll turn on that hot shower They'll flick a switch here in the Northlands Coliseum, and for the last time this year, the ice will be melted at the Northlands Coliseum. They'll crank up the Zamboni one last time, and they'll scoop off all that loose snow and dump it here. And on comes the hot water, and they'll flush this ice surface that has carried the Stanley Cup champions all season long right down the drain. Back to you, Al.
And right now, the Oilers with another man advantage. Rick Tocchet, 2 minutes for holding at 6:44. The Flyers just fending off an Edmonton power play. The Oilers, who have the power play in gear, scoring 4 of 7 attempts in game number 4. After having just 1 goal in their first 14 power plays in the series. But there goes the power play. Equalized. Brian Lewis calls the penalty on Edmonton.
No, I think it's Mark Messier that's going to the penalty box for hooking, and as Al just stated, that takes care of the Oilers' power play and gets the Philadelphia Flyers out of some danger for the time. Let's see exactly why Messier will get that penalty. Hooking was the call. Well, here it is. We're finally going to see it. Mark Messier doing some work in the corner, and it's number 20, Dave Poulin, that he hooks and pulls down.
Well, Dave Poulin, perhaps, with some theater courses at Notre Dame. Well, he helps out the cause as the team's now at equal strength. We have 12 minutes, 50 seconds left in the second period. Mark Howe weaving into the Edmonton zone. Murray Craven rolls it in the slot. That quick stick by Coffey looking for Gretzky. Gretzky makes chase along with Crossman, who plays it back the other way away from Gretzky. Ron Sutter onto the stick of Craven. He has Sutter in front, and it is Honey making the block. Coffey between 2 Flyers gets it out. Hits Gretzky on the wing. Gretzky cuts into the middle, looking for Coffey, but the pass behind. Here is Fogelin closing in. Curry slaps it into the corner for Gretzky, making the move on Howe.
That move way back in the Oilers' end zone with Coffey coming out. That's what makes the Oilers difficult to beat. They do the unexpected. Not too many defensemen are going to come out in front of their own net with 2 Flyer players right there, but Paul Coffey does. He's very confident.
And Yari Curry puts that one all the way into the crowd. Didn't mean to. Try to stick it in the corner. Curry now has tied Reggie Leach for most goals scored in the playoff year, 19 on his first shot tonight.
Well, let's take a look at Paul Coffey. You can see that the 2 Flyer players are right there and on him. He really only has one alternative. He's got a couple if he wants to shoot the puck around the boards either side, but he wants to carry that puck out. He did exactly that, set up the play as he so often does, and then the Oilers come right into the Flyers' end zone and get a chance to set up. So that is where the value of Paul Coffey is, rushing that puck out of his own end zone, and that leads to so many offensive opportunities for the Oilers.
And here could be one. But Marsh takes it away. 15 seconds in the penalty to Tocchet, 35 in the penalty to Messier. Here's Propp cutting in. Propp unable to get the shot off as Lindstrom came back to bother him. Fogelin ahead to Anderson, who played it ahead on his skates. Propp the other way with Poulin. And the man coming out of the penalty box is Tocchet. Tocchet belts Gregg. Lowe gets it away from 2 forechecking Flyers. Flyers on a power play for but 10 seconds. We have 11 minutes to go in this second period. 4-1, the Oilers lead. Coffey with 2 goals. Zezel making the moves, but watched all the way by Gregg. The steal by Messier. Messier along with Billy Carroll. Messier scores!
Trying to hang on to possession of the puck. All of a sudden, they give it up because of a costly error, and that's when the Oilers take advantage of you. They pick your game apart from every zone out on the ice. Mark Messier just threads the needle. Good shot by Messier. Watch him as he's coming in. He takes that puck and he goes from his backhand on it to his forehand and then just flicks those wrists. Let's watch Messier. Here he comes. Last year's Conn Smythe Award trophy winner, Mark Messier.